Hey everyone, just quick announcement before I share today's episode with Ron Montgomery. Ron is doing some amazing work and excited for him to share his story. But just want to take a minute to share the release of my first children's book of my Healthy Children's Book series called Maddox's Trip to the Chiropractor. It's a cute book with bright pictures that follows a toddler on her trip to the chiropractor. It shows her excitement and how she knows that it impacts her health in a positive way. And each purchase of the book will be supporting a project that I started called the Unlock Wellness Project. For each purchase of the book, we will be donating a wellness bag to a child in need. These wellness bags will include non-toxic, chemical-free essentials such as soap, shampoo, toothpaste, a toothbrush, items that a lot of the time children in tough situations don't have access to. We're also going to be shipping wellness bags to flood victims in Houston, Texas, and reaching out to victims of Hurricane Irma as well. You can learn more about the book and about the Unlock Wellness Project by going to drkaseyjohnson.com. That's DRKASEY Johnson.com. Click on the Shop tab, then click on the Children's Book option. You'll be able to read a short description and even watch a short video with more information. You can also purchase the book directly on Amazon.com by searching Maddox's Trip to the Chiropractor. But I hope you guys loved the book. Be sure to check out my website to learn more, and thank you so much for the support. Now it's time for today's episode. I hope you love my conversation with Ron Montgomery. Welcome to the Unlock Wellness Podcast. I'm Dr. Casey and excited for today's guest. I'm here with Ron Montgomery, and I'm really excited for Ron to share his story and the amazing work that he's doing, especially in his community. He is the owner of Six Juice Company and is just on a mission to better the health of his community. So, Ron, thank you so much for coming on. I'm excited to have you.
Awesome. I'm excited to be here, Doctor. Just trying to, make a change one day at a time.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's just jump into your backstory, where you're from and your own personal wellness journey and how that really began for you.
So I'm from New York. I grew up in a town called Central Islip out on Long Island. It's funny because when most people think about Long Island, they think that everybody's rich and that we all live in the Hamptons, and that is far, far from the truth. I could probably count on my hands the times I've been to the Hamptons. But yeah, I grew up, with my parents who I originally moved out here from Brooklyn. So I'm born and raised on Long Island. But I went to Central Islip High School, and why I always tell people why I went to high school there is it was a diversity. I saw everybody of every race, every color, every height, every ethnic background. And what that did was really get me ready for the real world. Because as much as they try to teach us in high school about the real world, it's total opposite of what you really learn. But through that, I was able to make some really great friends and life experiences and, growing up, and I got into sports. I played football, played basketball. And then I went to work for the Long Island Railroad, which is a great job. Mm-hmm. And it was for a time there that I had left. And this is about, let's say, going back 3 years ago. So I was trying to find myself. And I went into personal training because I had this idea that, you know what I should do? I should open up a gym.
Right.
So
just because of your background in sports.
Like Brandon. Like Brandon. Yeah. So I have these great ideas, and I'm like, how hard can it be to open up a gym?
Right.
Yeah. So about that. So basically, I went there. I took a job, and I learned a lot working in the gym environment. One thing that I did learn was how to deal with people. And I remember one day specifically, I had got a promotion, and so I had got a call from my manager at the time. And he said to me, well, what location do you want to go to? Mm-hmm. So I had choices. I thought I had choices. So he called me back in the morning and said, well, you're going to go to Patchogue. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I go there. And the first day I'm there, I'm at my desk, and the front desk girl comes over and she's like, "You have to go upstairs. Somebody passed out. Somebody passed out." So I'm like, "Okay." So I run upstairs. In the meantime, as I'm running upstairs, they come and grab me again and tell me a kid had broke his leg in the basketball court. So I go upstairs, and there's a gentleman laid on the floor. So I tried to, bring it back to consciousness and, wake up. What happened? Ask me what happened. Guy next to me said, "Oh, he just fell. He passed out. He fell." So I'm assuming that, he probably passed out, dehydrated or whatever. So I call 911 already. And so with that, I noticed he started making it was something a little bit different. Long story short, the gentleman had a heart attack while I was trying to, wake him up. Long story short, I immediately jumped into doing CPR. And it was crazy because I had just took the class 6 months prior. And, I'm a bit of a clown. So I'm joking around the class. And the instructor says, "You're going to be the first one that has to do this, so you better pay attention." And I swear, he was dead right. Like, that plays back in my mind so many times. So, long story short, we had to use the AED machine. I'm doing CPR, and if what felt like was an eternity, it was really intense. So eventually, the ambulance comes, and they and the ambulance driver tells me, "Listen, you saved that man's life."
That's awesome.
And he was in the club so long that we called his next of kin, and so his son came, and I got to talk to his son, and his son said something to me that I will never forget. He said, "Because of you, my dad will be at my wedding next week. Thank you."
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. So I started realizing that I wanted to help people. I wanted to be in a space of helping people. And I thought personal training was it. I had some great clients, some great friends, but it wasn't quite fulfilling enough. So I was talking to my mom one day, and she had beat stage 4 breast cancer, and she was talking about her diet, and she's like, "I gotta drink more vegetables. I gotta get more vegetables. I gotta, more fruit." The doctor says because I'm diabetic now. So I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna juice for you."
Yeah.
She said, "Okay."
Ron, did you have somebody like that kind of taught you about that, or were you already kind of trying to eat healthier and juicing? Like, how did you know like that's where you wanted to start with her?
No, not really. It was funny because, like, I tell people all the time, I have never Googled a juice recipe in my life, like, ever. Like, people's like, "Oh, you should go try this, try that." What I did Google though was what each fruit and vegetable is good for, and I started making juices. And I'm like, you know what? That probably just, that's going to taste good. So, I made juices to what me and my friends like, and that's kind of how it all started. And then I just kept going at it. And the next thing you know, my friends was like, "Oh, that's really good. Can you make me some?" "Oh, next thing you know, that's sweet. Can you make me some?" "Oh, I told my friend about it. Can you make them some?" And it grew into a business.
When was that when you first started to really just start to make the juice and then share it? Like what year about?
About 9 months ago.
Oh, okay. So it was quick.
Yeah. It's again, it was just something I was doing for my family, and it was just something that just kind of happened, and it turned into a business. So we really just I kind of just ran with it, and I got to a point where I said, "Okay, let me see what I can do." And I'm the type of person where I like to learn by trial and fire. So as I grow, because I'm still growing, I did a lot of research, a lot of running around. I try to always eliminate the middleman in something, and we put out a product that's it's really good, So that's kind of where we're at with the company.
That's
and
awesome.
So we're just trying to really, what I'm trying to do is really affect people in the sense being that, it's a lot of times in different communities, which, Black communities, Spanish communities, health really isn't taught that well.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's not a lot of options. So what I wanted, one of the things I want to do with my business is to touch a lot of different type of communities, and not just ethnic. I mean all types.
Right.
What we're doing so the mutual friend of ours that I'm working with is that we're looking to get into the gastric bypass surgery community. We're looking to do a children's line of juicing. We're looking to do, of course, the gyms and sports, everyday juicing for moms that have kids,
Mm-hmm.
dads that are on the run. So we're trying to really bring health and awareness to people who normally are not into it, and try to show them that if you make this lifestyle change, it can add an additional few years into your life, like cutting back on diabetes, high blood pressure,
Absolutely.
heart disease. So that's really the goal and the focus of the company.
That's awesome. And yeah, just like we were talking about, before we started recording, Ron, is, the health is your biggest asset. So, you were talking about how seeing your mom in that situation, and when you go and she's receiving chemo and like you see all of those people, like, do you want to describe what you were telling me, how that affected you?
Yeah. So as a son, and I'm the young. Well, I like to tell everybody that I'm the only child besides my brother and sister.
That's funny.
But I have extreme closeness with my mom and with my dad also. And so going down to treatment with her and watch her have to go through chemo and radiation, when I walk into the room where they did it at, and I had like a life-changing moment, because at that, once you walk into there, it doesn't matter man, woman, child, black, white, green, orange, brown. Everybody there is trying to fight for their life.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to myself, energy. And at the time, I didn't really quite fully understand it. But like we were talking earlier, energy is so important when you meet people. When I walked in there, I would laugh, I would joke, I would be crazy. I tried to bring such a good energy to the nurses, to the guy cleaning up, to the patients, to the patient's family, because I said, if I can make these people smile for maybe 5 minutes out the day, then that's what it's all worth. Because there was no guarantee that when we came back, that person was going to be there. And unfortunately, a few of them weren't. But I just had a life-changing moment. I said, listen, I want to help people. I want to change. And I want to start with myself and my family. And that's kind of where it all started.
That's cool. And like, so it was that moment that kind of triggered you to start, it was that before or after, like, you started juicing for your mom, or was that kind of the trigger, and then it was like, okay, I'm going to juice, and then that kind of led to other healthier decisions for you, and then you're just trying to influence, or how did that all kind of play out for you?
All right. So that was a few years ago, because she's been in remission for 5 years. But I just knew at that point that I wanted to get into the health and wellness field.
Got it.
And I wasn't quite sure at the time what I wanted to do. So like I said, I went into training. I thought I was going to open up a gym. But through that, I got to meet all these wonderful people.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was funny, because me and my mom did have a conversation about 12 months ago. I want to say maybe a year ago, somewhere around there. And we talked about how health, and like I said, how she needs vegetables, diabetes. And that's kind of how I started to juice.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I started doing it for my family, started doing it for my friends, and everybody kept asking, and so then it grew into a company where now we're getting ready to launch, Amazon Fresh and some other locations.
That's awesome.
It's about really helping people. And I want to make a good product, but mostly I want people to make one lifestyle change. And the one thing that I do a little bit different with my juicing is that people ask for diets. And so I suggest that you, along with the juice, you also eat, but more of a vegetarian diet, because the more ingredients you can get in as far as vegetables, and you cut back on meat, the more healthier the body resets.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes you feel so much better.
Oh, yeah.
I had a client.
So much.
So and a lot of people just don't know that, and it's not easy. Let's be honest. It's easy to pull up down the block and go to Popeyes or
Yeah.
McDonald's, and it's
Well, you know what, especially Ron, and and you were talking about just communities that don't have like a lot of education on that, and a lot of these like areas that are considered food deserts where a lot of places don't have access to a lot of these fresh foods. So it's hard to get the right education when you don't even have access to the foods.
exactly, and that's one of the goals we want to have down the line with the company. I want to be able to grow, fresh fruits right here on Long Island, go back to my old school district and other school districts and teach kids about agriculture. I had a friend of mine, his son had told me he wanted to be a basketball player. And I said to him, why don't, instead of being a basketball player, which you have a less of a chance, I says, why don't you be the guy who builds the gym for the basketball player? Or be the guy who creates the next juice for the basketball player to be healthy. I said, do you know who those people are? He was like, no. I said, you don't know who they are, but you see the effects of what they have done. I
Right.
said, you can't tell me who started Gatorade, but you drink it every day. And I says, that's the way you leave your carbon footprint on life. And that's what we're aiming to do, to go back to teach and to show at a young age that there's so much you can do in health and wealth and how valuable it is.
That's amazing. No, I love that, and that's 100% true. And I love, I mean, just your story, Ron, because it just shows the process. I mean, a few years ago, you weren't thinking, I want to start a juice company, but because of what you saw with your mom, you knew you wanted to be like helping people in the health field. So led the training, led to helping your mom even more with nutrition, and now the juice company. So it's just cool to see how the process works out, because in the moment you're just trying to figure it out, but then this things start to fall in place and it just feels right. And then you feel that energy that you were talking about and just the momentum. And so I'm super pumped for you that it's all falling in place.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. It's just and I tell any entrepreneur, anybody starting a business, it's never easy. You have your bad days, but you try to find and draw on that one thing that keeps you going. And I haven't gone far enough to know that I want to quit, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So every day, I learn every day, doctor. I mean, there's something new to learn and to figure out things, pH balance with oranges as opposed to lemons, and how they grow vegetables, and pesticides and non-GMOs, and then to how that translates back into how I'm working on a special juice for people that have diabetes, and okay, I can't have this. So you're always learning, and not just bettering ourselves physically, but mentally. That's the other part of it too. And just trying to put as much as I can back into the community, and just helping people to have the opportunity to do better. That's really the goal of the company, really, is to help people do better.
Yeah. And what's been probably the most difficult thing for you so far with just the whole, like, just starting your business on that end?
I would say the first part was getting the blends right to actually where it tastes good. There's a lot of behind the scenes that you have to deal with a company that's not fun. But I say the hardest part is being consistent, because when you make a product, people like for it to be consistent. So a lot of trial and error, a lot of throwing out fruits and vegetables. But the thing about it is this, the thing that I love about it is that we have, from the juices, we use everything, right? So we're working on a cleaning solution that's made from the peels of the oranges and lemons and fruits like that. That's all natural, that you can use anywhere. And then the leftover vegetables and fruits and stuff like that, we bag and we sell it as compost. So we're trying to be super environmentally friendly, but also make things that are economical and affordable for people to use in everyday lives.
That's awesome. No, I love that. Just keeping it as sustainable as possible, and that's amazing. And you were telling me beforehand that your main location is New York, and then you were do you guys actually have like a building there? Are you working on that now, or are you guys going to be focused more on like the shipment side of it?
Well, yeah. that's what we're planning on doing. We want to get the brand out there online and also have a location here on Long Island and in other places because down the line we are going to be looking to franchise
Mhm.
because it'll allow people to start a business, work at home, and to bring in a source of income. But right now we're really concentrating on online. Um, and the reason being is that we can affect more people through a click of a
Absolutely.
button as opposed to, so much foot traffic right here in New York. So we're really trying to grow it online. And we're working hard to really launch. We plan on really launching the website soon and all the store soon, which is tying up some loose ends. But mostly we're going to start with online. And then from there, we'll branch out into a brick and mortar.
That's cool. So you were talking about Amazon Fresh. So that's awesome. So is that going to be like your main distribution, or like how does that work? Is it kind of like set up with like Amazon Prime? That way they're getting their juices quicker, just for
Yeah,
keeping it fresher,
yeah.
obviously faster.
Obviously, yeah. So there's a few locations I can't disclose all of them, but any source like that, even like Amazon Prime, you have to get the juice to them,
Hmm.
and so that they can have it. And so these juices are made daily, so it's a process. We have a location where they're made almost practically every day. So we have to constantly get that to them because they're fresh. So
Right.
that's one thing. We don't add any preservatives. We don't add any sugar. We don't add any salts. And that's what sets us apart from other juice companies that are in your local stores. A lot of them add preservatives. So you're not getting, well, let me not say that because I don't want to,
Right.
but our product it's all natural. It's vegan friendly. It's all natural. What you see on the ingredients is exactly what you get. We
That's
don't
awesome.
add any fillers or anything like that.
That's cool. Yeah, because I mean, like if it's in a store, obviously, if you're gonna drink it, like if it's that or something bad, obviously that's the way better way to go. But in a store, they have to be concerned about shelf life. So whenever you're dealing
Yes.
with, a product like yours where you're getting it out there pretty quickly, then you don't have to really worry about that as much. So that's awesome.
Yes. So, see, some of the cool things that we plan on doing is, of course, you'll be able to enter your information, and what you'll be able to do is spit out a diet based upon the information that you put into the computer.
That's
So
cool.
that's one thing that we're working on. Also, too, a juice cleanse.
Hmm.
Also for sports, we're going to have, and also I beta tested my product with about 15 families, and one of the biggest consumers of my juices are children.
That's awesome.
Now, and children do not lie because if they do not like something, they will tell you honestly. And a lot of children like it because it tastes good. So that's kind of the route we're going. So we're growing. So it's a lot of work, and I tell all entrepreneurs, do not give up on your dreams, and your business and your aspiration. It gets really daunting sometimes, and it's really hard, but do not quit, and you will reach your success.
That's amazing. And Ron, we can't end the podcast without you talking about why you named your juice company Six Juice Company, because I thought it was pretty funny. So
All right, so I'm 6'10". So the irony in this statement is everybody calls me Six for short. The irony in that. So yeah, so it's just a representation of who I am. So I'm 6'10", so everybody calls me Six. So I wanted something that was synonymous with me and different, and so that's why we have it the Six Juice, and hopefully you might grow a little bit taller if you have a Six Juice. No, I'm just joking.
that's funny. No, Ron texted me that how it started. I was like, man, Ron, I'm 5'4". I'm like, you have me by a little bit. But that's funny. It's funny. But yeah, so Ron, what is the best way for people to follow you on social media, and then also your website? That way they can stay in the loop whenever you're launching more products and just more resources.
The My Instagram is the Six Juice Company. On IG, also the website is the sixjuice.com with the number six in it. So it's the number six juice.com. And those are the two platforms we're using right now because we kind of want to funnel everything in. and then from there I have my email on there, so we could do direct sales. So those are the two forms that we're using right now.
Sounds good. Yeah, and I'll put all of those in the show notes. And then Ron, just closing question that I ask every guest. But if you just had one piece of advice for the audience, maybe it was something that helped you the most on your wellness journey. But if you just had one piece of advice to give, what would it be?
Don't quit. Don't quit. It's tough being healthy, but it's worth it. And don't quit.
Love it. No, that's perfect. And I love it. And Ron, I'm super excited just to follow your journey, because I know you're going to do amazing things. And I'm excited. And I'm excited to try the juice. So
yes, your package is on the way.
Perfect. No, I have a 20-month-old daughter, so I'm sure she'll love it as well. So I'll be sure to share.
Awesome. Definitely. I appreciate you, Doctor, so much.
Awesome. But thank you so much.
And I just want to tell you that what you're doing is amazing. You have a daughter, you have a life, and what you're doing is so positive that we need more people like you in the world. And I appreciate you taking out the time to allow me to be on your show.
Oh, I appreciate that, Ron. That means a lot. And just thank you so much. And I'm excited to share your journey.
Awesome. Take care, everybody.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's episode. I hope you loved my conversation with Ron. He's doing such positive work, and I'm just excited for you guys to follow him on social media to keep up with everything that he's doing. You can find the social media links that we talked about in the episode in the show notes, but you can also find them on my website at drkaseyjohnson.com. That's DRKASEY Johnson.com. Click on the Listen tab. Then from there, you'll be able to see all of the past guests that have come on the Unlock Wellness podcast, read a little bit more about each guest, and be able to click on all of their social media links, their website, all of that. So you can find all of Ron's information on my site as well. If you guys loved today's episode with Ron, be sure to jump on iTunes, subscribe, and write a review. It really helps me out a lot, and I appreciate the feedback and support so much. And like I spoke about in the intro, also be sure to check out my first children's book of my Healthy Children's Book series called Maddox's Trip to the Chiropractor. Each purchase of the book supports the Unlock Wellness Project, which supplies a wellness bag to a child in need for each book purchased. You can learn more about the book and about the Unlock Wellness Project on my website as well at drkaseyjohnson.com. Click on the Shop tab, then choose the children's book option. You'll be able to read a short description and even watch a short video to learn more. If you do purchase the book, be sure to share it on social media using the hashtag UWProject. I'll repost it and give you a shout out on the podcast. But I hope you guys loved the book. Thank you so much for the support, and I hope you loved today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in.